at what is the next project to add. And I would like to add one more project, particularly in the silver side, and I'd like to have it in Mexico for Orex Minerals.
Welcome everyone to another corporate update with StockPulse.com. Today we're sitting down with Ben Whiting, President and CEO of Orex. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us today.
Thank you very much, and it's good to talk with you again.
Can you tell us what's new at Orex Minerals?
When I last spoke with you, it was a time when I wanted to announce the new maiden resource for the Caneto project. And so I have the report now, and we put out the news just recently on the very first resource estimate for the Caneto project in central Durango state. And we're very pleased with the results.
Can you tell us more about the results?
Yes, it's a joint venture that we have with Fresnillo, and Fresnillo is the world's largest silver mining company, as you're aware. We're in the same trend, the silver trend of Mexico, as their major operations, like the ones that they have in Zacatecas, that Fresnillo belt, if you will. It's the biggest mine in that belt. And we did a resource estimate using 104 drill holes that we had, and we've identified a series of lodes on the property. It topped the 500,000 ounces of gold equivalent. So what we've got here is in gold equivalent ounces is 538,000 gold equivalent ounces. And so that's partly gold and partly silver. The gold is 286,000 ounces of gold and 19,111,000 ounces of silver in vertical loads. So it's very standard Mexican style intermediate to low sulfidation vein systems. Just a beautifully well behaved vein structure.
Can you tell us more about the vein structure and how it resembles the greater Mexican lodes?
It's very, very similar. You do have some zonation. You have more base metals. You get down towards the bottom, although we haven't done any base metal evaluations yet. We did it primarily on the gold and silver. There are some older mines that were in the camp itself, that part of our structures have been mined down to the water table, but the system goes much farther than that. Some of the hits that we were having were over 300 meters down, and generally the dip varies from about 70 to 90 degrees. So if you're thinking about an open stope mining in classical mining structures, this is exactly what you would be picturing. We've also put out metallurgical results this year, and the met results were excellent. On 5 of the 7 tests that we did, 7 different areas of the property, 5 of them came over 93% recovery of gold. And so when you think about numbers like that, you think, well, that's very good approach to extracting the gold. If you can get it out of the rock, that's an important step. And our metallurgical testing showed that that was the case.
Is there anything else that Orex is looking forward to towards either the end of 2021 or even in the beginning of 2022?
Absolutely. You may recall our other joint venture that we have in Durango State is called the Sandra Project, and it is a joint venture with PanAmerican Silver Corporation. So while on Caneto we have Fresnillo, the world's largest silver mining company, at Sandra we have PanAmerican, the world's second largest silver mining company. And so they're the partners that we as a junior company are working with. In that case, we've completed the mapping of integrating our 2 properties. They had claims in the area, so did we. And so when they bought out the interest of our previous junior partner, that led to a joint venture between PanAmerican and Orex Minerals. And that one, the mapping has been integrated now, and we're at the stage that we're filing for diamond drilling. I'm anticipating that by the time the government permits from SAMRNAT, that's the Mexican government permits, come through, that it'll be January, say mid-January.
And how has that partnership been going?
It was a little slow at getting it started, but we've worked with PanAmerican before on other ventures, and a great group of guys to work with. So we see it as a very positive step going forward. They're a talented team, and they recognize that we're explorers, and they are mining producers. So they have done the joint venture with us, but we stay as the operators on that project. So they recognize that we're good at finding things, in this case, gold and silver. That project already has a silver resource in one part of the property called the Belarus deposit at 33 million ounces of silver. But what we're seeing is a mineralogical shift as you're moving towards the northwest that changes it from more of an oxide type material to a sulfide material. And we think that the system is much bigger than what we initially envisaged. And so, yeah, I'm very optimistic that this is a good project to follow up on.
How is it working in Mexico?
Mexico is, I've been working, as you probably know, for over 18 years on projects in Mexico, and we're the same exploration team that made the discovery of La Preciosa, which we sold to Coeur Mining. And so we're very familiar and comfortable working there. We do have a house and an office facility in Durango City, and so it's good country there. We do a lot more this past year and a half through consultants, many of whom we've worked with in the past. So people that we've known for over a decade. Because of the travel restrictions, COVID has been an issue for every company. So we do very careful COVID protocols to make sure that all of our crews and all of the local community stay healthy, and we're contributing to the local community as well. But I'm waiting for things to open up a little bit more so I can spend some more time with their teams down in Mexico and look at some of the new opportunities we're getting.
Can you speak a little bit more to the impact of COVID-19 and the mining industry general, or mining in Mexico?
I would say the biggest thing is just kind of a delay on everything. It's not something that stops people from moving forward. It's just that when you want to arrange for somebody to come and visit your property, they're to sign off on an environmental permit or a government agency that has to do a site visit. Those always seem to take longer. Setting up for the last resource estimate, we did an independent consulting group called SRK did the study using our data and going out into the field, but they had to do a site visit. Site visits have to be arranged far in advance, and you have all of the protocols that go with it. So it's not a stopper to action, it is just delaying action. And I think it gradually will stabilize.
On the silver front, silver pricing, etc., what's your sense of the silver market in general today?
Silver market in general, you split silver into two aspects. Silver has the financial aspect, as does gold, and silver has the industrial aspect. And the two of them trade in a little bit different approach. That silver is more like copper when it comes to electrification of our society and around the world. That you've got things like solar panels, which is a big consumer of silver. You've got electronics, and how many of us do not have more electronics in our lives these days, whether it be in your car or even a refrigerator seem to have more electronics these days. So the industrial consumption of silver is a growth sector, and you treat it like a base metal in that case. The other half is the financial, the bullion, the jewelry, the other aspects, the actual holding of silver as a hedge against inflation. And to that, you look at how does gold respond, and that's why you often will see gold to silver ratios, which are sitting in somewhere about 75 to 1. I could see that number starting to close that silver in a rising environment may outperform gold.
As a geologist, what do you think people don't know about gold and silver that you think they might find interesting?
Um, I think that they say the gold is where you find it. It's a little bit trickier than that. Generally, gold tends to be in gold camps. You tend to there are going to be major new discoveries. The more people look, the more people use new ideas about modeling, about new equipment as to how to test for different kinds of deposits. That there will be more discoveries. I see that silver about 25% of silver comes from primary silver mines. So 75% is coming from polymetallic deposits where they produce more than one element. They might be from a gold mine that has silver credits or a base metal mine, a copper gold system that has a fair amount of silver as a byproduct, where silver is not the number one. And so there is certainly going to be more silver produced, and there's more silver to be discovered, which is our part of it.
What else are you looking forward to in 2022 at Orex Minerals?
Um, I'm receiving property submissions, and we've been getting property submissions. We get them every week. We get them from different parts of the world. We also get a fair number in Mexico. What I'm looking forward to is being able to travel more and being able to meet with mining analysts, being able to meet at conferences with groups like StockPulse and various teams that are out there to talk about these projects. But also look at what is the next project to add. And I would like to add one more project, particularly in the silver side, and I'd like to have it in Mexico for Orex Minerals. So as we evaluate projects, that's always an interesting part for me is to go in and take a look at see which deposits can we see value to be added.
Anything else that you think people should know, or even a recap of what Orex Minerals has been up to in 2021?
Yeah, we've certainly advanced the company in 2021 with the metallurgical studies, the geological studies, the resource studies, and we brought in new investors. You may recall that about 65% of the stock in Orex Minerals is held by institutions. And one of the favorite institutions in the precious metal sector is Sprott. And so they decided to join with us this past year. And so that was certainly a very positive step. And they brought in, I think it was around $5 million onto our books for that investment. Management takes part in any of the private placements that we do, and we also buy on the market. And so management holds about 15% of the company as well. Yeah, I'm very bullish on what's going to be happening in 2022.
We've had the privilege of sitting down today with Ben Whiting, President and CEO of Orex Minerals. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us today. And thank you, everyone, for listening.